I bet that she knows Billy Joel, 'cause you play it uptown, 'cause you're singing.
Copyright. Okay, I had to play the beginning of that because it's for the context of the video. It doesn't make sense if I don't play it. If you haven't seen it, for instance. This is the video that has people negatively critiquing Olivia Rodrigo for her vocal performance, saying that she can't sing, saying all types of things. Like, I heard someone say that her caucasity or her white lineage is blocking her throat chakra, and I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe how people were going so in on her. It wasn't even that bad, but people were saying that, you know, they're tired of non-singers in this non-singer era getting on stage. This one woman in particular said, get a vocal coach or get off stage. Now, me, I'll throw all the assets, all the tweets in post-editing. You'll see it on the screen right here. But I said I feel her, and I defended Olivia because I understand. I reviewed her first album, Sours, on the channel, if you haven't seen it. And I've seen a couple of her videos where she's demoing original songs and covers in her bedroom, and she has a beautiful tone. She has a pretty impressive range for her age, and it's only going to grow and it's only going to mature as she gets older. I'm a fan. So I felt like those critiques of her was not fair. I feel like she's actually a pretty good vocal performer. And while we are in the non-singer era, I just don't think this applies to Olivia Rodrigo. Now, the question I have for you with this on the screen, and if you haven't seen it, now you've seen it. Do you think that a subpar or bad vocal performance from a good vocalist should determine if they're a great vocalist or not? Now, granted, if you've never heard of, I need you to take yourself out of your shoes right now. If you're an Olivia Rodrigo fan, I need to take yourself out of the experience. You've already experienced Olivia Rodrigo. You've grown to love her. You love her voice. You love her music. I would presume if you clicked on this, right? Take yourself out of the equation and think, if you were to hear Olivia Rodrigo for the first time and see this performance for the first time, would you say, I'm turned off from Olivia? I don't know what the hype is. I don't think she's a great vocalist. Or would you research more? Me personally, I would probably look more into it, but I'm a music consumer. I'm a commentary channel. I have to do my research. But this person obviously sent that tweet off, wrote her off, and didn't feel the need to check further. That's what she did. My opinion of that, I think it's a very harsh critique. Very harsh critique. And I don't think people truly understand, people that don't have empathy or a great understanding of how much goes into having a great vocal performance, or really what could go wrong as a vocalist when you're doing live. That's why a lot of vocalists are scared to perform live. A lot of things that can go wrong, right? When you're in the studio, you have compressors, you do multiple vocal takes, everything you can to make sure it's right and polished. When you're singing live, it's the real deal. You're live, baby. The cameras are on, the mic is on, you're live, all right? But I understand great vocalists can have bad performances too. It doesn't mean they're a bad vocalist. They just had an off night. I may be shooting her some bail. I may be cutting her some slack because I have empathy and understanding for her craft and her talent. I think she's a very talented person. I think she's only going to grow and mature with age and time. The sky is the limit for her, in my opinion. But when I see this performance and I analyze it, like she was having fun, doesn't realize she was singing, she was laughing through the take. And there's this look that Billy Joel gave her right here that people are critiquing about and saying that, what is he doing looking at her like this? Nah, I joked around maybe. I don't know. I don't know what he's thinking. I can't read his mind, but I can only imagine, like, why would you bring someone on stage that you're not a fan of, or that you're not exposed to their talent, or you weren't fond of them and wouldn't think it would be a great moment? I think that Billy Joel's a fan of Olivia and a fan of her talent and stuff like that. That's me personally, right? I couldn't see him bringing her on stage if he thought the opposite. But I just don't like it. I don't like when people have that type of critique without understanding how much goes into the vocal performance. That goes for people who are, do instrumentation, do live performance, do rap, anything you do in a live capacity. This is live, right? There's people mess up all the time. And I don't like how people are so quick to call out the mess up. It makes me just want to say, what do you do? Let me see your live performances. Let me see what you do, because you have a brave take to be able to just fire it off and walk about your day and stuff like that. Now, here's the thing that I'm concerned about, right? The internet is brutal. And Twitter, it comes at you so fast. There's so many responses in real time that I don't want her to read these tweets and get discouraged and spiral in any capacity. I know she's young. She's relatively fresh to the industry. I don't want that to knock her off her trajectory. I think she's only going to grow with time. If I were in her corner and if I were a part of her team or maybe just a friend, I would just express that like it's just all noise. You know, you're going to have many great performances more than you're going to have lackluster performances, in my honest opinion. Now, going back to that tweet that one person said, yes, there's a lot of people that can't sing in this era. Are there less people that are powerhouse vocalists that rely on studio tracks and studio backing? Yes. Are there people that are scared to sing live because they know they can't demonstrate what they did in the studio? Yes, I think all that is true. Do I think this applies to Olivia? No. Do I think the critique was harsh? Yes, I do. Do I think that she's a great vocalist? Yes, I do. All that and above.
Crazy in love don't feel sweet, 'cause I'm with you but I miss me. 21st century girls are perfect and I know it isn't real. It's so stupid, but digital love, it still feels real to me. She looks like an...
It's just an example that a lot of people are not going to give other people that same empathy or that same chance or that same understanding or even want to go out of their way. A lot of people are not going to want to go out of their way to research if this is her and check out her other vocal performances. I liken this to Giveon, what happened at the BET Awards where, you know, the auto-tune slided or was a little out of sync. It was a technicality. It wasn't necessarily reflecting on Giveon's vocal performance, but they didn't care. They said he was a terrible vocal performer despite having evidence that he's a pretty good live vocalist. So it's the same situation. Everybody has mess ups. I'm sure your favorite vocalist has mess ups too. You know, it is what it is. It's like you know, people have bad games. I liken it to sports, live sports. People have bad games all the time. Does that make them a bad player or make them a bad? No, just like you're human at the end of the day. That's what I think. I think she had a human moment. I think she had a human moment and we saw the product of it. But, you know, Twitter's going to Twitter. All right. So if Olivia or anybody from her team comes across this in any weird capacity, just on a whim, on a chance, I wouldn't worry about this. It's just Twitter, bro. It's just Twitter. Just noise. All right. But let me know what you think in the comment box. Like, share, comment, subscribe, and recommend me more things to react to. I'm up and I'm out of here. Stilo Vino as always. Sweet.